This night is one of the most sacred observances of the Christian calendar, but it doesn't attract the hordes of Christmas Eve or Easter Sunday. It's a good bet that most people who make the effort to come to church on Maundy Thursday, that's you, are already committed disciples of Christ in one way or another. The preacher can dispense with crowd-pleasing warm-ups and go right to the heart of the matter tonight. There's no better night to be in church than this night. I do not think it is misguided for you to think of yourselves as the committed, not because you are worthier than others, but simply because in the mystery of God's will and purpose, God has chosen you to be here. This is the supreme night of love. This night in which the Son of God declares himself ready to lay down his life for you and for me. That makes us siblings at the deepest level. Each of us drawing near to one another as Jesus draws us to his side. Perhaps tonight, more than any other night, we may see into his heart. John 13 picks up the narrative tonight with Jesus and his disciples at supper together before the Passover. The final words of the first verse serve as a heading for everything that follows. Having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end. This is the love Jesus has been showing his disciples ever since he called them to follow him. This is the love that finds its deepest expression on the cross. This loving to the end is punctuated by Jesus' final words in John's Gospel before his death. It is finished. It's the same Greek root word. Jesus demonstrates the extent of his love for this motley crew of followers with a strange activity. He removes his outer garments, picks up a bowl and towel, and proceeds to wash their feet. Walking in open sandals on unpaved, dusty roads made everyone's feet dirty and crusty. I won't go any further. Water would be provided for new arrivals to wash their feet. If they were lucky, a servant would be there to do the menial job. Jesus turns the usual social order upside down. Jesus does for his disciples what none of them were prepared to do for each other. Lest we forget, included in these disciples are Peter, who will deny knowing Jesus, and Judas, who will hand him over to the authorities for arrest. Jesus does for his disciples what none of us are prepared to do for each other. Jesus does for us what none of us are prepared to do for each other. Like someone changing the diaper and washing the bottom of a baby, or like someone nursing a dying spouse, so Jesus kneels at his disciples' feet. Having loved his own who were in the world, Jesus loved them to the end. Folks in the African-American tradition call this Jesus' stooping love. His love stoops all the way down to the dirty feet and all the way out to an old rugged cross. New Testament theologians call this downward mobility. end, to what purpose does Jesus love us all to the uttermost limits? To what end, to what purpose does Jesus wash us through and through with forgiveness and feed us with the nourishment of His own body and blood? To what end, to what purpose? So that we can become conduits and not just collection pools of God's extreme love. I give you a new commandment, that you love one another. Just as I have loved you, you also should love one another. By this, everyone will know that you are my disciples. That Jesus Christ has loved His disciples to the end provides both the foundation for His washing their feet and the motivation for His disciples to love and serve one another. By our living out the intensive and extensive love of the Master, the world will know who we are and whose we are. The world will know we are not teeth-gritting Christians, but disciples full of compassion and mercy and love. Brothers and sisters, in one sense, this is not a new commandment at all. The heart of the Jewish law found in Leviticus is to love your neighbor as yourself. In another sense, it is also a universally human struggle to live out this commandment based on our own devices and powers. Check out your own mixed motives, secret thoughts and desires. Check out today's headlines if you think it's easy to love one another. What is new is that Jesus gives us a new motive and incentive to love. We do not love in order to merit brownie points or to get into college. We do not love one another to fulfill a set of rules or code of conduct. We love because Jesus loved us to the max. Period. We love because Jesus loved us out on the limb called the cross. God so loved the world that He gave His only Son. And He loved the disciples to the extreme of washing their feet and going out on a limb to die for them. Siblings around the basin and the table tonight. The authenticity of our Christian witness to one another and to the world is not just the eloquent words we will say or the beautiful songs we will sing. The quality of our witness will come through in how we wash feet. That is, how we do the things that do not count in the metrics of the world. Like spending a night at the church for family promise. Like reading a book to a lonely child. Like writing a note to a public official on behalf of someone trying to solidify their immigration status. One of my cherished personal devotional books is Oswald Chambers' My Utmost for His Highest. Back in the ancient days of the late 70s, it was a favorite graduation present for people down south. A particular portion struck me in a powerful way one day as a senior high student. In essence, the devotion said that Christ's way of service is exactly along this line, and I quote, "I do not care with what extravagance I spend myself, and I will do it gladly. Further in that same devotion, Chambers describes the love commandment in one of the better ways I have ever known. The New Testament idea of a saint is one who becomes broken bread and poured out wine in the hands of Jesus Christ for other lives. So if I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also ought to wash one another's feet. Just as I have loved you, you also should love one another. Christ loved us to the end. The chief end